Silence is one of the most misunderstood forms of power. In a world where everyone is reacting, arguing, explaining, and defending themselves every minute, the strongest people are often the quietest ones in the room. Not because they are weak, not because they have nothing to say, but because they understand a truth most people never learn. The real power in life is not found in controlling people. It is found in controlling your reactions. Most people spend their entire lives responding to everything around them. A comment on social media ruins their mood. A small criticism stays in their mind for days. A message left unanswered makes them anxious. A disagreement turns into a battle of ego. And slowly, without realizing it, they give their peace of mind to everyone else. Their attention becomes scattered. Their emotions become controlled by outside noise. Their focus disappears. What looks like normal behavior is actually a quiet form of mental slavery. Because every time someone can provoke you, upset you, or pull you into unnecessary drama, they gain a small piece of control over your mind. But centuries ago, long before social media, long before modern psychology, Stoic philosophers already understood this danger. They discovered a powerful principle that most people still ignore today. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your response. Not every conflict deserves your energy. Sometimes the most intelligent reaction is no reaction at all. The Stoics believed that the ability to ignore was not avoidance, it was discipline, it was mental strength, it was a form of self-mastery that separated calm minds from chaotic ones. In fact, many of the most respected Stoic thinkers quietly practiced this skill as a daily exercise. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the most powerful empires in history, yet his private writings revealed a constant reminder to himself: do not waste time on what does not matter. During times of war, political pressure, betrayal, and endless criticism, he trained his mind to stay focused on what he could control and ignore the rest. This was not easy. Humans are naturally emotional creatures. The brain is designed to react quickly to threats, criticism, and social judgment. That instinct helped our ancestors survive in dangerous environments. But in the modern world, that same instinct traps people in endless cycles of overthinking, anger, and distraction. Every notification demands attention. Every opinion feels like a challenge. Every insult feels like something that must be answered. Slowly, the mind becomes exhausted. But Stoicism offers a different path. It teaches that strength is not measured by how loudly you respond to people. Strength is measured by how calmly you refuse to be pulled into unnecessary noise. Ignoring people, when done with awareness and discipline, becomes a shield for the mind. It protects your focus. It protects your emotional balance. And most importantly, it protects your time, which is the most valuable resource you will ever have. Because time spent arguing with the wrong people is time stolen from building your life. Many people misunderstand this idea. They believe ignoring someone means surrendering. They believe silence means weakness. But history quietly proves the opposite. Some of the most disciplined minds that ever existed practiced selective silence. They understood that reacting to everything is easy. Anyone can argue. Anyone can defend their ego. Anyone can get pulled into pointless conflict. But very few people have the mental control to step back, stay calm, and simply walk away from what does not deserve their energy. This is where real power begins to grow. And this is exactly what this video will reveal. In the next few minutes, you will discover why ignoring certain people can transform your mental strength. You will learn the Stoic mindset that allows some individuals to stay calm while others lose control of their emotions. You will understand the hidden psychology behind why many people try to provoke reactions in the first place. And more importantly, you will learn how mastering the art of ignoring can give you an advantage that most people never develop. Because once you understand how to protect your attention, your mind becomes harder to disturb. Your focus becomes sharper. Your emotional reactions become slower and more controlled. And suddenly, the chaos that affects everyone else loses its grip on you. By the end of this video, the way you look at arguments, criticism, drama, and negative people will start to change. Situations that once pulled you into stress will start to lose their power. You will begin to see that the strongest response is often silence, and the greatest form of control is choosing where your attention goes. This knowledge is simple, but very few people apply it consistently. That is why those who master it stand out. Their calmness feels different. Their presence feels stable. They do not chase approval. They do not waste time proving themselves. They move with quiet confidence because their mind is no longer controlled by the opinions of others. And that is exactly the mindset Stoicism was designed to build. A mind that remains steady no matter what happens around it. So if you want to develop stronger self-control, sharper focus, and the ability to protect your inner peace in a world full of noise, then this video will give you insights that can completely shift the way you deal with people and situations. Stay with this video until the end, because some of the most powerful Stoic lessons about silence, emotional discipline, and mental independence are still ahead. These lessons have helped thinkers, leaders, and warriors maintain control of their minds for thousands of years, and they are just as powerful today as they were in ancient times. Welcome to the channel, a place where we explore the timeless ideas of Stoicism, mental strength, and self-mastery. If you value wisdom that helps you build a stronger and calmer mind, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the upcoming videos. Now let us begin exploring the real power behind ignoring people and why it might be one of the most underrated skills for building mental strength and self-control. A difficult truth sits at the center of human behavior, and most people never question it. Society quietly teaches that ignoring someone is a sign of weakness. If someone insults you, you are expected to answer. If someone challenges you, you are expected to defend yourself. If someone questions your value, you are expected to prove them wrong. From a young age, people learn that silence looks like defeat. They believe that if they do not respond immediately, others will think they are afraid. They believe that ignoring someone means losing an argument, but reality tells a very different story. In everyday life, the people who react to everything are rarely the strongest ones. They are usually the most distracted, the most stressed, and the easiest to control. Every opinion pulls their attention in a new direction. Every small conflict drains their emotions. Every criticism becomes a battle inside their mind. Instead of moving forward in life, they spend their energy responding to noise. The mind becomes crowded with unnecessary thoughts. Focus becomes weaker. Peace slowly disappears. This is why reacting to everything is not a sign of strength. It is a sign that other people can easily access your emotions. Weak people react to everything around them because they cannot tolerate discomfort. They feel the need to respond to every comment, every insult, every misunderstanding. They rush to defend themselves even when the situation does not deserve their attention. Their ego pushes them to explain, argue, and prove their point again and again. But strong people operate differently. Strong minds choose their battles carefully. They understand that every reaction has a cost. Each response requires energy. Each argument demands attention. Each emotional reaction steals a piece of inner peace. Life offers limited mental energy every day, and the way a person spends that energy determines the quality of their life. When someone reacts to everyone, they slowly give everyone a small piece of control over their mind. A stranger's opinion can change their mood. A careless comment can ruin their focus for hours. A small disagreement can follow them for days. In this situation, the mind no longer belongs to the person who carries it. It belongs to the people who provoke reactions. Stoic philosophers understood this danger thousands of years ago. They observed human behavior carefully and recognized that most suffering does not come from events themselves. It comes from the reactions people choose after those events. The Stoics warned that uncontrolled reactions weaken the mind. They create emotional chains that tie a person to other people's behavior. When someone can easily provoke anger, frustration, or anxiety inside you, they gain influence over your state of mind. Stoicism offers a simple but powerful principle to break this cycle. The principle is clear and direct. You cannot control what other people say, think, or do. You cannot control their opinions, their attitudes, or their actions. Trying to control other people is one of the fastest ways to exhaust the mind. But while other people remain outside your control, one thing always remains within your power: your response. The Stoics believed that the true battlefield of life exists inside the mind. External events are often unpredictable. People will criticize you, some will misunderstand you, others will test your patience or attempt to provoke a reaction. This is part of human nature. The Stoic approach does not pretend these situations will disappear. Instead, it trains the mind to remain steady when they appear. The power lies in deciding how much influence those events will have over your emotions. Reacting emotionally to every challenge only increases the control that others have over your inner state. Anger clouds judgment. Frustration weakens clarity. Anxiety scatters attention. When reactions become automatic, the mind loses discipline. Stoicism teaches that ignoring is not a form of avoidance. Ignoring is a deliberate act of self-control. It is a conscious decision that certain voices do not deserve your attention. It is the ability to remain calm when someone expects an emotional reaction. It is the strength to remain silent when others attempt to pull you into unnecessary conflict. This form of discipline requires patience and awareness. Many people feel a strong impulse to respond immediately when they feel attacked or judged. The ego pushes them to defend their reputation, but Stoic thinkers trained themselves to step back before reacting. They reminded themselves that most conflicts are temporary and meaningless in the long run. The deeper psychology behind ignoring people becomes clearer when attention is understood as a form of reward. Human behavior is strongly influenced by feedback. When people receive attention for their actions, even negative attention, their behavior becomes reinforced. Arguments, explanations, and emotional responses provide exactly the reward many provocations are designed to receive. Some individuals create conflict, not because they want solutions, but because they want reactions. They want to feel important. They want to feel powerful. They want to see that their words can disturb someone else's emotional balance. Every time a person reacts emotionally, they confirm that the provocation succeeded. The attention becomes fuel that keeps the behavior alive. Silence breaks this pattern. When reactions disappear, the reward disappears with them. Without attention, the behavior loses its purpose. Silence becomes a barrier that manipulation cannot easily cross. It removes the satisfaction that many people expect when they attempt to provoke emotions. Silence also communicates something powerful about the person who practices it. Calm silence shows confidence. It suggests that the person is not desperate to win approval or arguments. It shows discipline, because remaining calm when emotions are triggered requires strong internal control. Many people misunderstand silence because they expect strength to appear loud and visible. They expect power to look like dominance in conversations or victory in arguments. But real mental strength often appears quiet and controlled. It appears in the ability to walk away from unnecessary battles. Strong people carefully protect where their attention goes. They understand that attention is a form of life energy. Every minute of focus invested in pointless conflict is a minute taken away from meaningful goals. This is why mentally disciplined individuals learn to ignore certain patterns of behavior. They ignore criticism that carries no useful information. Not all criticism deserves attention. Some criticism is offered only to provoke insecurity or frustration. Responding to such criticism gives it importance it does not deserve. Strong people also ignore constant complaining from individuals who never seek solutions. Complaints repeated without action only drain emotional energy. They create negative mental environments where progress becomes difficult. Instead of absorbing this negativity, disciplined minds create distance from it. Another category of behavior that strong people ignore involves attempts to provoke reactions. Some people intentionally test boundaries through sarcasm, insults, or subtle attacks. They hope to create emotional responses that turn into arguments or long explanations. When these attempts meet silence, the pattern often stops because the expected reaction never appears. Strong individuals also ignore drama that does not relate to their goals or responsibilities. Many social conflicts are fueled by gossip, misunderstandings, and exaggerated stories. Getting involved in these situations pulls attention away from meaningful work and personal development. Protecting attention means choosing carefully which problems deserve emotional investment. This practice does not mean a person becomes indifferent to everything. It means they become selective. They evaluate whether a situation deserves their energy before reacting. Many people struggle with this discipline because they fall into an emotional trap driven by ego. The ego seeks validation. It wants recognition and respect from others. When someone questions or criticizes a person, the ego quickly interprets it as a threat to identity. The instinctive reaction becomes the desire to defend oneself. This is why many arguments grow far beyond the original issue. The conflict becomes less about facts and more about pride. Each side wants to appear right. Each side wants to prove superiority. In this situation, the original purpose of communication disappears. What remains is a contest of ego. Stoic philosophy warned against this pattern because ego-driven reactions often lead to regret. Words spoken during anger rarely improve relationships or situations. Instead, they create new problems that require more time and energy to repair. The Stoics advised that before responding to criticism or provocation, a person should ask whether the response will actually improve anything. If the reaction only satisfies ego without creating progress, silence becomes the wiser option. This awareness transforms the way a person approaches conflict. Not every disagreement deserves a reaction. Not every accusation deserves an explanation. Sometimes the most powerful response is to remain still while others expect movement. The Stoic method for practicing this mindset begins with a simple pause. When an emotional trigger appears, instead of reacting immediately, the disciplined mind creates a small moment of distance. During this pause, several questions can guide the decision. Does this situation truly deserve my energy? Will this matter after some time has passed? Will responding help improve my life or the situation? If the honest answer to these questions is negative, the Stoic response becomes clear. The situation can be ignored without guilt or fear. Ignoring in this context becomes an act of self-protection. It protects peace because the mind refuses to be disturbed by unnecessary conflict. It protects focus because attention remains directed toward meaningful goals. It protects clarity because emotions remain balanced rather than overwhelmed by constant reaction. This approach gradually changes the structure of the mind. In the beginning, the impulse to react may still appear strongly. Emotional habits built over many years do not disappear immediately. But with repeated practice, the pause between stimulus and reaction becomes stronger. Each time a person successfully resists the urge to react, the mind becomes more disciplined. The person begins to notice how many situations once demanded attention, but actually had no lasting importance. The transformation becomes visible over time. Before developing Stoic discipline, many people react to nearly everything around them. They feel pressure to answer every message immediately. They feel the need to defend themselves against every criticism. Their thoughts replay conversations repeatedly as they search for better responses. This constant mental activity drains emotional strength. The mind becomes tired even during moments of rest. Overthinking replaces calm thinking. After adopting Stoic awareness, the pattern slowly shifts. Instead of reacting automatically, the person chooses silence more often. They observe situations without becoming emotionally attached to them. Criticism becomes easier to evaluate because the ego no longer demands immediate defense. Many comments that once felt threatening begin to appear insignificant. The mind becomes calmer because fewer conflicts are allowed inside it. Focus improves because attention stays directed toward meaningful tasks instead of arguments. Emotional stability increases because outside events no longer control internal states so easily. Over time, this discipline creates a new type of strength. It is not visible through loud reactions or dramatic confrontations. It appears through calm presence. The person becomes harder to disturb. Situations that once caused anger now produce quiet understanding. Situations that once caused anxiety now pass without lasting impact. This state can feel unfamiliar at first because modern culture often celebrates constant expression and reaction. But Stoic philosophy reminds us that strength is not measured by how quickly or loudly a person reacts. Strength is measured by how well a person controls those reactions. A mind that reacts to everything belongs to the world around it. A mind that chooses when to react belongs to itself. The difference between these two states determines whether a person lives under the influence of external events or under the guidance of inner discipline. Each moment of silence becomes a small victory of control over impulse. Each ignored provocation becomes proof that the mind is no longer easily manipulated. Each calm decision strengthens the ability to protect peace and focus. Over time, the person begins to recognize a simple truth that Stoic thinkers emphasized for centuries. Real authority in life begins inside the mind. When reactions are disciplined, external voices lose their power to dictate emotional states. When emotional states remain stable, clarity becomes stronger. When clarity becomes stronger, decisions improve. And when decisions improve, life begins to move in a more intentional direction. Strength then reveals itself in a quiet but unmistakable way. It is not shown through noise or confrontation. It appears through the calm ability to ignore what does not matter. Your strength is not shown by how loudly you react. It is shown by how calmly you ignore. Because the moment reactions become controlled, the mind becomes free. And when the mind becomes free from unnecessary reactions, no outside voice can easily control it. Real power rarely announces itself with noise. It appears in quiet moments of control, in the ability to stay calm when others expect anger, in the discipline to stay silent when others try to provoke a reaction, and in the wisdom to walk away from what does not deserve your time or your energy. The world is full of voices competing for your attention every day. Opinions, criticism, drama, and endless distractions are constantly pulling at the mind. Most people get caught in that storm without even noticing it. They react, explain, defend, argue, and slowly lose their focus. But the Stoic path teaches something very different. It teaches that your peace is not something the world gives you, it is something you protect. Every time you refuse to react to meaningless noise, you reclaim a piece of your mental freedom. Every time you ignore what does not matter, your mind becomes stronger, calmer, and harder to disturb. That is the quiet power of Stoicism. It does not promise an easy life. It teaches you how to build a stronger mind so that outside chaos loses its grip on you. When you master your reactions, you master your life, because the moment you stop reacting to everything around you is the moment you start controlling what truly matters inside you. If this video changed the way you look at reactions, silence, and self-control, then this is only the beginning of the journey. This channel is dedicated to building mental strength, discipline, and Stoic wisdom that helps you stay calm and focused in a noisy world. Not empty motivation that fades after a few minutes, but practical ideas that help you develop real mastery over your thoughts and emotions. So if you want to train your mind to become stronger, clearer, and more disciplined, make sure you subscribe to the channel and become part of this community. Also, take a moment to like this video because it helps the message reach more people who might be struggling with stress, overthinking, or constant distractions. And if you know someone who often gets pulled into arguments, drama, or unnecessary reactions, share this video with them. Sometimes a single idea can completely change the way a person approaches life. Thank you for watching, for investing your time in strengthening your mind, and I will see you in the next video.